Warm and humid until tomorrow morning, then relief. Details at 6.
You know, at one time or another, each and every one of us likes to hear what's in the stars for us, and what do the stars have to say about our personality, and what's going to happen in our life. And we are going to be finding out some answers this afternoon on Pittsburgh Today. Would you stand for me, please? Do you know what your astrological sign is?
I'm an Aries.
Do you follow it in the paper, or?
Somewhat, yes.
You do? What do you think that your sign is pretty indicative of what you really are?
I really do. I think it follows me pretty well.
What is an Aries quality that you might possess?
I'm a leader with many friends. My favorite color is red, which it is. My lucky numbers are 7 and 8, and they are. So pretty well.
That's been pretty true to form for you, huh? Okay, sit tight. We'll see if we can get some answers for you a little later on. And would you stand for me, please? What is your astrological sign?
Gemini.
Gemini. And when's your birthday?
June 9th.
June 9th. Okay. Do you follow the sign? Do you follow what's happening?
Yeah, I usually read it in the morning paper.
And are they usually pretty accurate for you?
Sometimes. Sometimes they come close.
Now, what's a Gemini quality that you think you possess?
I don't know, dual personality sometimes, moody. I don't know.
Do you do it because, do you believe it really, or do you do it because it's kind of interesting, or you believe it just in case?
I think it's just kind of fun to see if it works out.
Okay.
So.
Okay, thank you. Lynn Palmer is our guest this afternoon, folks, on Pittsburgh Today. Lynn has been with us before, and she knows almost everything there is to know about astrology. And she has a new book, The Astrological Almanac for 1985. We'll be talking with her about happenings for 1985 for those of us, for all of us, actually, under the astrological signs. We're also going to be finding out about kids as cooks. Your children can get into the kitchen. You don't have to worry if you teach them the right things to do. And for those of you who are dealing with young children, one of the most irritating things a young kid can do is whine. And Dr. Tim Murphy is with us today, and we'll be talking about your child as a whiner and what you can do to change it. This is Pittsburgh Today.
It's Pittsburgh Today with Patrice King Brown. Here's Patrice.
Welcome back, folks, to Pittsburgh Today. It is always a pleasure to visit with this lady. Not only does she tell us things about the happenings in our town and things that are happening in our lives, but she has an awful lot to do with just all the happenings in the stars. Please, a nice welcome for Lynn Palmer. Now, Lynn, we have the 1985. This must be your first visit this year, because it's the first we've seen.
This year, yes.
Yeah, your astrological almanac, in which you cover all kinds of different events and
categories
occurrences.
And things, even when to get pregnant.
Oh yeah, well, a little late. Yeah, when to deliver might help
be
me.
Better, right?
Yeah, Lynn. Actually, for 1985, do you generally see this time of year? Are things going pretty well for most signs? Are we in pretty good shape?
Well, no, some signs are having a lot of problems, you know, and the Scorpions and the Taurus people are having problems. But after November 17th, it's going to be better for them.
Oh, well, that's good.
There's going to be a change, right?
What kinds of problems might they be facing? Money problems?
Well, worries, losses, divorces, and deaths. People dying on them, or worries, just getting negative and worrying about the job and extra work and that sort of a thing. But it's going to be much better. They're going to feel a lot better after November 17th. They won't have as many worries. They won't feel as weighed down.
Oh, well, that's good. What signs are on top right now?
Well, right now, Cancer's not doing so badly.
Yeah,
you know?
I like that. Yeah.
And Aquarian's not doing too bad, but they will do better after November 17th also. And Leos will do better after the 17th, but some Leos are doing well. Sagittarians are doing well. Most of the signs are doing pretty good. You know, it's all within you, too. You see, the planets influence you to think a certain direction, but you don't have to obey them. You can fight them and change your thinking. The horoscope's your attitude toward everything. All you have to do is change it.
I see. So it's not that we look at the horoscope as a predestination, that this is what will occur.
No, you can change it. You can channel the energies in different directions. Instead of worrying about something, you know, I have a famous new lines now that everybody should say, and that is, every day tell yourself, I'm lucky and getting luckier, and I'm rich and getting richer. Because then that puts positive thoughts into the mind. If you have a health problem, just say, I praise myself for being in perfect health. If there's something wrong with me, out, out, out you go. You don't belong in my body, you know. Thoughts produce things. And see, the planets influence you to think a certain direction. As I say, you don't have to obey them, so you can have the power within you to change things.
Okay, that's kind of nice to have that in control. It is, again, I'm lucky and getting luckier, and I'm rich and getting richer,
and I'm happy and getting happier. If you're negative, just say, I praise myself for being confident, happy, cheerful, carefree, and outgoing. Sometimes when you have to lie to yourself, you know, it becomes then a reality later.
That's true, that kind of self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
We're going to take a commercial break, and we will be returning with Lynn Palmer and the Stars in a moment on Pittsburgh Today.
I'm not being lazy. I am demonstrating the custom-built Contour Chair Lounge to you. Look at Contour's special body-conforming shape. See how your head, back, legs, and feet are always supported? Contour was designed with the help of an orthopedic surgeon to cradle you in comfort, just like astronauts' chairs do. Most ordinary chairs force your weight onto your hips, pinch off circulation, and cause muscle strain and discomfort. But Contour is different. It's custom built to your exact body specifications. That's why it's so amazingly comfortable. And Contour adjusts. You can raise your legs above your heart or sit fully upright at the touch of a button. Get this free catalog that describes the Contour Chair Lounge. Call the toll-free number to get your free catalog by mail. No obligation.
Call 1-800-228-5010 toll-free. Call 1-800-228-5010 toll-free. Call 1-800-228-5010. That's 1-800-228-5010.
Now remember, even if he's leading, hang in there. I guarantee he'll run out before you do.
Of all the leading paper towels, only one never seems to run out. Scott Towels. It's got more sheets per roll at a real competitive price, which means when the other fellow throws in the towel, Scott Towels keeps on running and running and running. Scott Towels. They keep running without running out.
Lynn Palmer is our guest this afternoon on Pittsburgh Today. She is the author, of course, of the Astrological Almanac this year for 1985. And Lynn, you've been studying the stars for quite a long time.
28 years.
Yeah,
doing it.
That's pretty long.
That's pretty long.
Pretty long time. What kinds of things do you see right now for, if you can give us any predictions or any feelings about what is happening in the economy of the nation, or even concerns about our president and his health? Do you have any information on that kind of stuff?
The economy should be better after November 17th also.
What is November 17th?
Well, the planet Saturn's been in the sign of Scorpio, and that restricts sex, it restricts the economy, it creates a lot of negativity, and it's going to go into Sagittarius. And whenever Saturn was in Sagittarius in the past, the financial people that do astrology said there's always a up on the stock market and there's good money around and everything, because Sagittarius is considered the luckiest sign in astrology. You know, it's a happy sign and an abundant sign. So the economy then should get better and people's minds should be more positive.
That's good. Well, that's always good.
Right.
So in the stars, are we at a building period, or we're building toward that, or is it just something that happens very drift?
It'll happen, but you build toward it.
You can see the things
Right,
changing.
right.
What about predictions for spectacular events? I mean, right now everyone's concerned about money. You know, everyone
Well,
wants
they
to
should
earn.
do my money check gimmick is what they should do. You know, on your sister's station, the people are talking in Baltimore. I told it in June of last year, and somebody told a man about it, the neighbor, and he did it, and he won the $1 million lottery. And so the following month they had him, well, after he won, which was the following month, he went on the show and told how somebody told him about the almanac and how to do the check gimmick, and he won the $1 million lottery.
Why don't you tell us briefly again how it works?
Okay, if you don't have a checking account, you can do it, you know, on a piece of paper, but where it says pay to the order of on a check, you write your first and last name, and then you sign it, the law of abundance, and the line between the signature and your name, where you normally write in the amount of money, you write in paid in full. And you don't put any date or any amount, and you don't void the check stub. And if you do it every month, which some people do, I have the dates when to do it every month, but you have to do it at a certain time astrologically, and you just fold it in half and you hide it away. And if you do it every month, don't tear up the old one. Just keep it hidden around the house somewhere, you know, and hide it in the checkbook is a good place to hide it. And that brings in more money because it gives you a positive attitude in life. And the thing is, we have to do it on the new moon. Now, in a few days from now will be a good time to do it, you know, from the 19th on.
The 19th, that's the coming of the new moon.
For about the first week.
Okay, of the month.
Right, because as the moon increases, your money increases.
Oh, well, we like that.
Naturally.
Everybody likes that. What about other concerns, Lena? You know,
Well, I have cooking. I have making sauerkraut in there a certain time if you want sauerkraut. Planting, you know, like the Farmer's Almanac. Diet for people who want to either gain or lose weight. And exercising. You know, some people will start to exercise and then they stop. You know, they can't continue it up. Well, I have a certain dates in there where you can continue and we'll stick with it. The same with cigarette smoking. There's a lot of people who want to quit smoking, and there is a time. See, when the moon is on the decrease, the habit decreases, and that's from full moon to the new moon. It's on the decrease. And if it's in a fixed sign, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, you stick with it because it's a stubborn sign. And I have all that calculated. You don't have to know that, you know. But that really helps. People who've never been able to lose weight started on those dates, and the cigarette smokers, too.
And that's good news. People will look for that kind of information. Right. We've got a phone call for you, Lynn. Someone in New Kensington is on the line. New Kensington, go ahead.
Hello, I'm a Libra, and I wanted to know what kind of a year I'll be having this year.
Well, Libra people have it a lot better than they used to have it. You just have to watch that you don't get a little lazy and procrastinate. That's the main thing. You know, but take on a lot of work and responsibility, and you should do very well. Librans have some very good things in the sky for them now.
So it's kind of a positive time.
Yes.
What about romance? Is this a good romantic time?
Right, it is. But, you know, since Saturn's been in Scorpio, sex has been on the decrease and romance has been up more. You know, because of the AIDS and all of that. Saturn is fear and Scorpio is sex, so it's fear of sex. And this will peak, of course, November 17th. That all changes. But a lot of people, I have one client who says, oh, I told a guy that I won't have sex with him till he goes to the doctor and I read the doctor's report first.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, she's a Scorpio, see, and Saturn's in her sign, so she's afraid of sex because of the AIDS. You know, and there's a lot of people who have told me they're having less sex and they want more of a meaningful relationship now and more with romance. Of course, Libra is the sign of romance, and they're in love with the idea of love.
Okay, there are two romantics, yeah. Thanks for calling. Let's find out what's on the mind of someone in Monaca. Go ahead. Monaca?
Yes.
Go ahead. You're on the air with Lynn Palmer.
Thank you. I'm a Pisces, and my job is changing. They're going out of business, and I'd like to know what kind of future can I look forward to.
Now, who's going out of business?
This business where I work, she is retiring.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll tell you, Pisces people next year have a wonderful year.
Now, this is starting January?
No, starting in February.
Okay.
In February, the planet Jupiter is going to be in Pisces, and that means all the Pisces, Jupiter's abundance and wealth and happiness, and when Jupiter is in a person's sign, that is just a fantastic time for them. So it's going to be in the entire year.
Oh, wonderful.
See, sometimes it's only this year it's in Aquarius. That's why Aquarians are doing pretty good, except in September and November they'll do better. But Pisces are going to have it wonderful next year.
Well,
So
good luck
at
to
least
you.
and it's not all that bad this year either. So just don't worry. You know, you worry over little nothings. Just don't worry about anything. Just say, I golden key away all negative thoughts, conditions, situations. I free myself of restrictions and limitations and open up for new avenues. You know, things happen. Everything happens for a reason and for the best. Sometimes at the moment you don't think so, but years later you look back and you say, oh, thank God that happened, you know.
Sure.
At the moment it's traumatic, so just say, well, I'm going to have something good from that, you know. There's going to be something out there that's going to be even better. They did me a favor. And again, thoughts produce things, so then you will attract better things.
You have an idea. We're going to thank you for calling, and good luck to you beginning particularly in February. We're going to take a break, folks, and return with Lynn Palmer and the stars in a moment on Pittsburgh Today. Still to come, kids are cooks, too.
Introducing Frites, a new light and lively product. Low-fat cottage cheese in 1 cup, real fruit flavoring in the other, kept apart to keep them fresh. Together, 130 calories. Fresh Delights, available in 4 delicious fruit flavors.
What kind of beans go into vanilla ice cream? This one has locust beans. As Breyer's has just milk, cream, sugar, and real vanilla beans.
Breyer's all-natural ice cream. Nothing but pure enjoyment.
I'm happy with the diapers I have, and I don't think I'd switch.
Then Sarah Buskirk and Brandon tried Pampers' new form-fitting super absorbency size diaper.
I really like them. They do more than my other diaper. With the new diaper, he's drier in the morning after waking up from sleeping all night. The blue tab up at the top keeps them dry.
We call that the Blue Way Shield.
Okay, the Blue Way Shield works. It keeps all the wetness in, away from the clothes, so its clothes stay dry. Who makes it? It's Pampers! I don't believe it. That's great. I'm convinced.
Then we showed Sarah Buskirk how the new Blue Way Shield works. Moments later.
My brand does this to my son all the time. He wakes up, his stomach's wet, his clothes are wet, Pampers is still dry. The Blue Way Shield keeps the wetness away from Brandon, keeps the wetness away from his clothes. They came out with the perfect diaper.
Totally new Pampers with the new Blue Way Shield for the driest baby ever.
Ah, yeah, you like those Pampers. They keep you dry.
Looking for a difference in your food bill? Well, come to Shop and Save for everyday low prices and weekly specials. This week, a case of 24 12-ounce cans of Pepsi products, only $5.79. Save 25 cents off the label price of palm olive liquid, only 99 cents. Aunt Jemima Waffles Original Buttermilk or Blueberry, only 79 cents. And USDA Grade A fresh chicken leg quarters, 38 cents a pound.
Shop for the difference at Shop and Save.
Lynn Palmer is our guest this afternoon on Pittsburgh Today, and of course Lynn knows about the stars and what they have in store for us. And Lynn, we do have a phone call from someone in Bethel Park. Bethel Park, are you on the air?
Yes.
Go ahead, Lynn can hear you.
Okay. I was wondering, I'm going to be making a big move in the future, and I would like to know your feelings on this.
What's your birthday?
Gemini.
Oh, Gemini, you've got changes for the next several years. You're going to have a lot of changes. Just as you make one change one direction, you're going to have other changes. So you have to be ready for all kinds of changes, you know, but all change is progress, you know.
Uh-huh.
So just look at it that way and say, well, I guess I'm supposed to be doing this now, and if later I have more changes coming, well, it's necessary.
Uh-huh. And what about money?
Just do the positive thinking that I just said to do.
I'm richer and richer every day.
And luckier and luckier, and say, there's money out there for me to make, and I'm going to make it, and the universe doesn't stop, so why should my money stop?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Good luck. Now, I don't know whether that means that there's a possibility for certain signs there's some very difficult times coming ahead, and we're just trying to positively think and overcome.
Right, you can. Yes, that's the idea, because you can change it, you know. I have a lot of afflictions in my chart, but you would never know it. Because I'm having luck, I talk to myself every day. I tell myself these things, and I've been able to change my own chart. I've had clients that have been able to change their chart and their luck. An actor came, he was down and depressed, and he said, I can't get work, they're blackballing me. I says, there's no blackball aspects in your chart, it's negative thinking that's causing this. So he went out, and I lectured him, and he still went away depressed and negative. And I says, well, I did the best I could. 3 days later, he called. I didn't even know it was the same person. He listened to the tape I had done over and over again. He went out, and he had to choose between a lead, which he'd never had, and he took it and went on the road with a lead with Leslie Caron. So he said it works. It really works, and it does, all through thinking.
Okay, we've got some questions out in the audience, Lynn. A bunch of them, as a matter of fact. We're going to try and cover as many as possible. Would you stand for me, please? And your question?
I'd like to know what's happening with the Taurus women.
With Taurus women?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's going to get better for you November 17th, too. You've been having a lot of problems. You know, a lot of worries and hardships and problems. But don't worry. You just got till November 17th to go. And just be positive and don't let anything bother you. Just say, well, this isn't going to last.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's tough sometimes to think about doing, but that is important to hear.
You have to just talk to yourself every day.
Okay, you had a question for Lynn? Would you stand, please?
I'm a Cancer, and I wanted to know if cancers really revolve around the moon like they say they do.
Cancer do what?
Revolve around the moon. You know, I read a lot in books.
Yeah, you're a moon child.
Yeah. Do they really?
Well, it's ruled by the planet, the moon. Every sign is ruled by different planets. It's really a luminary. But Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it's moody and changeable and emotional and sensitive. And you're having a pretty good year, though, this year.
Thank you.
You feel like you are?
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I feel like I am, too.
Yeah, you're
Cancers are terrific people.
Cancers are doing great. Well, because they like to help other people, and they like to be needed in life. You know, and when you help others and you're needed, it comes back to you. Whatever you put out comes back.
What will this November 17th, what kind of effect will that have on people under the sign of Cancer?
Cancer? Oh, it's not going to bother them. They'll be all right.
Okay, we'll hang in there. Thanks. You had a question? Would you stand?
They said that Gemini are the same. There's 7 people in one. Why are Gemini men different from Gemini women?
Well, all Geminis are different, period, male or female, because Gemini is the twins. It's multiple personalities. You know, one twin wants to go one way and one another. So the men and women both have that multiple personality behavior, but every chart's different, you know. So in individuals. It's all different, depending on birth year, and place.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. We're going to take another phone call. Lawrenceville, you're on the air. Go ahead. Lawrenceville, are you there?
Yes.
Go ahead. Lynn can hear you if you ask your question.
Hi, thank you. I like your program.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. I'm an Aries, and I've had a very bad year so far. I was wondering if I'm going to land up the same way or a little bit better.
Well, Aries people have been having a very rough time of it, and you'll just have to start really talking to yourself and doing positive thinking, you know, to channel the energies, because there are some good planets out there helping the Aries along, but they've been more negative than usual, you know, and just have to work with it and talk to yourself and do all the positive thinking things I've said, and that's the only way you can counteract them right now.
Thank you.
Lynn, when you think about the changes in the signs, when most people ask, are we most often interested in financial or romantic, or is
Romance and money. Love and money are the main things that people are interested in.
Yeah, well, you're probably right. Yeah, thanks. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm a Gemini, and I wanted to know what kind of year I'm going to have next year.
Gemini, well, you're going to have a lot of changes coming up next year, a lot of radical changes. So just swim with the tide and don't let it bother you, you know, just go along, because there's going to be a lot of changes, and suddenly, you know, from out of left field type of changes. But you're a bright sign, very intelligent sign, and Geminis are adaptable. You're a very flexible person, so you should be able to get through all the changes. You like change anyway, you get bored easily.
Thank you.
Thanks. Let's take another phone call. Bethel Park, you're on the air with Lynn Palmer. Bethel, are you there?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, hi, Patrice.
Hi.
I'd like to ask Lynn, I'm looking for, I'm a Sagittarius, and I was wondering how the job market is going.
Well, Sagittarians are going into new lines of endeavor, doing a lot of new and different things. And it's going to be just great. But when November 17th gets here, for the next 2 years, do watch getting worried and negative, which isn't like a Sagittarian, you know. So try to take on more work than you can handle and just keep so busy you don't have time to think, you know. Because you've got wonderful changes coming up, going into new things, so accept the new things that are coming up, because they end up being good for you.
I might have an operation coming up. You know, how do you see that?
Well, I have my almanac, has all the dates for surgery for every part of the body being operated on. There's a certain time when you heal fast, a certain time when you don't have to have it done again, and so I have all the dates listed in the almanac for surgery for each part of the body.
Okay.
And it's very good. It really works.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Lynn, we want to thank you for joining us this afternoon on the show. You know, to think about the stars and the things that are there is just kind of always exciting and always fun for us, and we want to thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you again in the fall, because this is our last visit for a little bit.
I know.
Thanks for coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Folks, we're going to take a break and come back and talk about getting your kids in the kitchen, how they can learn things and enjoy it. Lisa Ryan's our guest, and we've got another special guest, Kelly Dudash. We'll be back in a moment.
Should your name be on this envelope? It should be if you or someone you love is age 55 to 80, and it will be addressed to you if you call now for the important information in this envelope. Free information that tells you how easy it is to get valuable life insurance protection with a whole life policy that is designed especially for men and women age 55 to 80. If you meet that age requirement, you are guaranteed this protection, because there's no physical examination and no medical questions. You cannot be turned down, regardless of your health. Your premium will be $6.95 a month and will never increase. And as you grow older, your benefits will never decrease. Some other policies designed for mature people actually reduce your benefits as you grow older. You may continue to pay their same premium, but they give you less and less coverage. So don't be fooled. Be careful. Go ahead and compare Colonial Penn with other companies. This is the policy that guarantees your acceptance, with no physical examination and no health questions. Your premium will never increase, and your benefits will never decrease, even as you grow older. So get ready to make that important telephone call right now. If you call now, Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company will send you the important information in this envelope, and it's free. So if you are age 55 to 80, shouldn't you join the millions of people who have already called for this offer? Shouldn't you call now? Here's the number,
Call 800-554-2525 for free information about the life insurance Ed McMahon spoke about. The information is free and the call is free. 800-554-2525. 800-554-2525.
Okay. Welcome back to Pittsburgh Today. Folks, we've got a very special guest in our kitchen today. She is a gourmet chef, and she knows an awful lot about food and food preparation. She also knows an awful lot about kids. She has raised 8. How about a nice welcome, please, for Lisa Ron. Lisa, we have a friend for you today, and this is Kelly Dudash, and Kelly's on summer vacation, so we thought it'd be kind of nice to have her come in and you can give her some tips on cooking in the kitchen.
Yes, she's sort of a novice. We were talking a little bit before the show, and she does a little cooking, but not a lot, and a lot of those kids out there, I see them out in the audience, they are sort of novice cooks or beginning. Some of them are quite accomplished, and then there are some of us who have parents who just are afraid to let us into the kitchen. But I brought along 2 real special recipes because these are things that kids really can cook. It turns out, and you can probably make this whole thing in about a half hour, 15, 20 minutes. We do it here in about 6 minutes,
Which
so
is
you know it's great. We've pre-cooked a few things here, but 2 recipes we've got here are chicken parmigiates, which I just absolutely love.
Okay.
And Kelly is going to assist me here. A lot of parents are afraid to let their kids use the knives, so I recommend for those parents scissors, and Kelly's very good. She's going to take
These are kitchen shears?
Kitchen shears.
Okay.
And she's going to drop the boneless breast of chicken into an egg wash. I've just taken and beaten 2 eggs and dropped the chicken pieces right into here. The reason why we do it bite-sized, by the way, is it cooks faster. So you want to go ahead, Kelly, and try it?
How old are you, Kelly?
10 today.
10 today? Oh, well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
We'll see how she can prepare her dinner.
I told her not to
For
be worried about getting her hands messy. Now, Kelly, if you'll do this, this is a special thing, Patrice. Normally our parents would have 3 bowls: breadcrumbs, flour, Parmesan cheese after we dip it in here. And I like things simple that you can just toss out.
Sure.
So I've added the Parmesan cheese, the breadcrumbs, and the flour right into a plastic bag. So do you want to take these, or with your fingers, and I'll show you, go like that, shake off the thing, and throw it right in there. Want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what is this going into? What is all this going to be cooked in?
All this is we're going to saute, not fry, but we're going to saute. That's fine. Now we're going to give it a twist. Go ahead. Just grab it around the neck and shake it real hard. That's coating it on all sides. And we're also eliminating a lot of mess. And I hate getting my hands sticky, so I give all of this to my children to do. They're in there with their little hands doing things. Now we're going to saute over a medium-high heat. So we're heating that up, and I'm going to put Kelly right over in her. That's the egg wash. So nothing like it. Parents do get confused. Now, while she's doing that, you want to put that right in there. Sauteing is frying over an open flame. Yeah, because it looks like a pretty hungry audience, or at least 2 or 3. I'm going to add the simple part of it. Actually, I'm going to add ragu home-style spaghetti sauce. It tastes homemade. It's thick and tomatoey. And has a special blend of herbs and spices that are really quite unique. And it doesn't take hardly any time to cook.
To prepare.
Prepare. And a lot of parents, you know, are out there and they're worried about sugar and additives. I want to tell everyone there is no sugar added. And you want to take a taste? Tastes real Italian. Does it? Yeah, it does.
Lisa, what makes you suggest kids get in the kitchen, actually?
Well, I have this one phrase: if they're old enough to lick the spoon, they should be in the kitchen. But really, around 3, put them in the sink with the lettuce and the parsley. How are we doing here? Are we?
Good idea. That's a good start.
Let's see. Want to throw a few more in?
I don't think there is any more.
Okay. See how nice they're starting to turn? I've put some over here.
They do cook up very quickly. What's that, 2 or 3 minutes?
Right. While she's going to work on that, what I've done here is I've prepared some ahead of time, and we're going to add mozzarella cheese. Once again, you can either cut it up with a knife, or if you prefer, using the scissors, and cover each one, just like this.
So it's just a little triangle.
Right. Just sort of fits over the top. And then I take the sauce that's already been heated.
Now, obviously, in your kitchen, it might take a little longer. But in our kitchen, we heat things pretty quickly.
It heats pretty quick. Yeah. And now it looks, and then the sauce will help melt the chicken parmigiates. And the kids really like this because they're bite-sized. How's it doing, Kelly? Okay. You can turn them over.
Yeah, she's turning them. They're looking pretty good there.
Good. You know, parents are always a little concerned about the mess in the kitchen, but it does happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Now I've got, and also, by the way, I suggest that when you're setting things out, start out in a tray and put out all the ingredients and all the utensils so that you can, you know, you are not going to get frustrated in the kitchen.
That's a good suggestion for parents and for the kids, too.
You want to
What do
pass
we
me
have
over?
here?
This is a real treat, and I've been loving this because as we go around the country, people call in and say, this really works. This is instant homemade pasta. And all it is 1 cup of flour, 3 eggs, you just sort of crack them and toss them into the batter, and 3 to 4 tablespoons of water, depending on the size of the old egg. Sometimes they're a little larger. And you want a batter, you're going to mix it together, and you're going to get a batter that looks something like this.
It's like a thick pancake batter.
Now, Kelly, here, quick, hold this spoon, give you a quick demonstration. Other hand. Don't worry. I'm going to throw a little bit of this onto this. Here, I'll show you what you're going to do. Oh, the sauce is splattering here. There we go.
We're
going to
probably slide it off because it takes a while for that to cool.
You're going to pop this into the water, and when it pops to the surface and turns white, you want to try it now, Kelly?
Can you just, like, mix it around?
Yep, just push it through. Go ahead. Let me put a little more on for you.
And this is just going in boiling water, Lisa?
Boiling water, and you can see it's popping to the surface, just like this. And it turns white. It's cooked.
So you're just pushing it through the spoon?
You're just
That's
pushing
not so hard,
it through. No, and it's cooking up. It pops to the surface. And it's homemade, and it's instant. It takes less time to do that. And then all we're going to do is ladle on our sauce.
And then it looks like you're going to be in pretty good shape. It's all set.
You're in great shape.
Salad, bread.
Salad, bread, really a well-balanced meal, and it's quick, and Kelly has done it herself. Kelly, how does that feel? You can throw it right in there.
Both of them?
Yep, both of them. Okay. By the way, here's a cleanup tip for this particular recipe. Rinse the bowl in cold water, otherwise it sticks like glue to the outside.
Cold water, okay.
Cold water. Did I say hot water?
No, I'm just reiterating.
Right,
Yeah.
cold water. And if they write in, I think there's an address where they can write in for the recipes.
Yes, they can send
for
us,
the day.
actually, you can write here to Pittsburgh Today, and you can write for either chicken parmesette or the homemade pasta, and you can send us self-addressed stamped envelope, folks. Don't forget. Pittsburgh Today, 1 Gateway Center, Pittsburgh 15222, and we will see that you get a copy of the recipes. And these are both very, very quickly done, very easy recipes.
They are. Look how nicely they turn out.
Kelly, what do you think about cooking? You think it's fun?
Do you like it? Yeah. Do you think you could go home? This is her birthday today, everyone. And what do you think? Do you think you could prepare this tomorrow for your birthday party?
Sure.
Do you think so?
I think it's terrific.
I think so.
Otherwise, we'll just have her come over to our house and cook, because I need all the help I can get.
I think it's patience, and a lot of people say, okay, yeah, well, you have a lot of patience, you have a lot of kids, but I think keeping your sense of humor is probably the best.
It's very much a part of it.
Yeah.
Lisa, we want to thank you for joining us, and Kelly as well, for showing us that it can be done. Huh? And folks, with a nice thank you to our guests, we'll be back with Dr. Tim Murphy and talk about whining kids. Thanks to Kelly, and happy birthday, Kelly.
Happy birthday, Kelly.
Like a favorite chair that feels so right, a cuddly bear to hold at night. Cottony soft cottonelle is one of the comforts of home.
Cottonelle bathroom tissue. Of course it isn't cotton, but it is cottony soft.
Like a faded knit that doesn't fit, or slippers that are worn a bit. Cottony soft cottonelle is one of the comforts of home.
Women, do you want more in your life? More excitement, more interesting people, more money? You can get more of what you want by starting a new career. Begin now by calling Sawyer School and get this booklet on careers. Then you choose. Be a legal secretary, executive secretary, word processor. It's fast. You finish in only months, and Sawyer helps you find a good job. Financial aid, it's available, so do it for yourself. Go to the phone and call Sawyer now.
Folks, if you would like to find out what a professional makeup artist would do with your looks, you have an opportunity to win a makeover contest we are sponsoring. And all we need you to do is send a recent color photograph of your face, even a Polaroid is okay, to Makeover Contest, Pittsburgh Today, KDKA-TV, 1 Gateway Center, Pittsburgh 15222. Remember to include your name, address, telephone number, hair color and eye color, even though it is a color photograph. The deadline entry is this Wednesday, the 17th of July. Winners will be appearing on the show the following week. Sorry, but the photos cannot be returned to you. You may be the winner of the Jeffrey Bruce Makeover Contest.
Mom's got an inch on me. And I intend to keep it. So to supplement my diet, I take Avail.
Avail is the calcium-intensive multivitamin.
Calcium helps keep bones strong and straight.
But most women don't get enough.
And none of the leading multivitamins has the full calcium supplement I need.
Avail does.
Check the health columns on your need for calcium. Once you've seen the available facts, your multivitamin will be Avail.
Calcium intensive Avail.
Into summer on a real-to-life riverboat. Eat, drink, dance, and be merry aboard Pittsburgh's famous Gateway Clipper Fleet, celebrating 25 fun years and 1,000,000 miles of smiles.
How can I save money on my phone service?
Can I do my own inside wiring now?
Which local pricing plan should I choose?
Who do I call for new phone service?
What about repairs?
You can get straightforward answers to all your telephone service questions from Bell of Pennsylvania's Help Center. Just call 1-800-555-5000. It's open weekdays, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Asking questions is good. Getting fast answers is better.
Beach Bummin', Monday on Evening Magazine.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh Today. I think that as a parent, you find there are few things that can be more irritating than a whining child. And this afternoon, we're going to be talking about whining, what is it, where it comes from, and most importantly, how to rid yourself of it. We're going to do that with child psychologist Dr. Tim Murphy. A nice welcome for our guest, please.
Any sense of peace you had at the moment, and just can go on and on and on and on.
Why do they do that?
But actually, there can be lots of reasons. I think a lot of times parents think, well, the kids just do that to drive me crazy, or they do it to get back at me or something, and they do it because they want something. But it can be a lot of other reasons, too, like the child's just simply tired, and there's fatigue, and that's how they say, I don't want to do this, Mom. Or it could be the child's complaining about things like, you're never fair with me, you always give it to him. It can be indeed trying to get something, it can be trying to get some anger, but there can be lots of different reasons there. And actually the reason that oftentimes starts off in families is because the child does it when they're tired, or a little bit complaining. And then I think all kids pass little notes between each other. Here's what I learned of how to get Mom and Dad. Just whine your way through it.
That's true. And are there phases in which they whine, or ages, or is it just something, it's a behavior that we allow to continue?
It's something that starts generally in kids after the toddler years, around 2.5 to 3 it gets going. And for some people continues on a long, long time throughout their life. But generally it's pretty common, unfortunately, between ages about 3 and 15. So a lot of kids do it.
Oh, so it's not just at 4 or 5 that they do it.
No, that's when they peak, and you can keep it going if you want. Particularly if you give in or let it stand in the home, and you don't try some things to change it. But it can just continue on and on.
It seems that my son will whine, and I get angry about it, and he will continue to whine. You know, it's like I will say things like, "Don't say that. Don't talk to me like that," or change your voice, calm down, talk to me in your regular pitch, or, you know, finally it's like, Guy, stop whining. And then when you say, Guy, stop whining, you get, oh, Mom. You know, and it's really, it's
feel
awful.
guilty, like, what
yeah,
do I do?
Yeah, you do feel guilty, but you feel real angry, too.
Well,
so what do you do?
One of the things he's doing, and the reason the kids do this, is to communicate something. Whether it's communicating what they want, or fatigue, or something else, complaining, they are communicating. So he's getting through. A lot of times, parents will find themselves trying to not pay attention to the child. You're on the phone, you're talking with friends, you're doing something else, you just don't want to pay attention to your kid at that time. So they have to find something that's pretty effective and will get your attention. And you try ignoring it, and it doesn't work. And what you're doing there is by saying, now don't do this, don't do that. You're giving them some ideas there of what it's not supposed to do, but there's other things you can do to help them rework that and change that and practice other ways of working it out. Now, it sounds like you two guys kind of get in this contest.
We do. We get in a cycle.
Elevate,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So what are the hints? What are the things you can do to make it stop?
Well, let's say, for example, there's times when you just prevent. Like if the child is tired or sleepy, it's not the time to start discipline and punishment and things like that. Don't do that, or you're going to, you know, we're going to leave you here in the store. We're never going to, you know, let you stay at the cashier or something. No, you don't do that kind of thing. It's like, all right, we got to prevent. We're not going to elevate this situation. You're going to go home. We're going to take a nap. If you're tired, let's take a nap. And be matter of fact about it. If the child is doing that to get something from you, it's important to ignore it, to not give in. If your child doesn't respond to the ignoring, and they just keep going, Mom, Mom, boy, that's irritating to hear, isn't it? On and on and on. You can do a thing like, practice with the child. Take them aside and say, okay, we're going to have a practice session for whining. I want you to whine your best. Go ahead, go for it. Now, a 3 or 4-year-old will kind of, okay, sure, maybe, I don't, they're not real sure about it. You got them in a little bind there. And all the kids say, I'm not going to do that stuff, you know, leave me alone. But you can try it and practice it. Let them, in some ways, get it out of their system, but in other ways, what you're doing is getting them to be aware of that. Because a lot of times kids are doing that, they're not even aware they're whining. It's just kind of automatic pilot. You want them to get a little more control over it.
Ah, so if you give them a session, this means the parent is in a particularly good mood.
Right, you're ready to put the earplugs in.
Yeah, and you allow them to do that.
Now, while they're whining, what you say is, you know, are you sure you're whining? I can't hear that. Can you, wait a minute. What are you asking for? Well, I want to know if I can have chocolate instead of vanilla ice cream. Okay, well, I just heard that. Now say it with whining again. Say, nope, I can't hear that. Something must be wrong. Maybe you'd better try and do it the other way when you want something from me. And so with that, you introduce them. And then say, now practice that again. Say it once with whining, now say it the regular way. And so you're beginning to get through to the child's way of communication that's different. And you let them practice it. And now it's time to go into non-action when they whine again. Someone's saying something, I don't hear anything. But you're standing next to me and I can't tell. Maybe you should try that another way. So you have a little practice when it's on time.
That sounds like that. Yeah, sounds like something a psychologist would come up with.
Well, write that down. You can quote me.
Okay. Yeah, that's terrific. You look for help in those kinds of situations. Dr. Murphy, though, I wonder if kids pick it up from other kids. I mean, there are some,
sure.
you know, that a friend does it, so it's like it worked for him.
That's right. And that's right. And why not try it? I mean, you see this other kid down the street with all the greatest toys in the world. How'd you get that? I just kind of wind my way through it, you know, no problem here. Why don't you guys each give me $1, I'll teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
These kids do those kind of things. You're not aware of it. But
why do they not whine for their fathers?
Well, I think that a lot of times their fathers don't put up with it as much, number one. And men seem to have a little more firmer lines. I'm not going to put up this stuff here. You go into your room the rest of your life if you're going to keep that up. And number two, the child's with mother all the time. And so can wear on her and wear on her. And, you know, just two people, no matter who they are, no matter how much they care for each other and like each other, you put them in the same place for a long period of time, and they're going to get on each other's nerves.
Sure.
And parents will whine to their kids, and kids will whine back. Say, I'm too tired to do that. Would you please leave me alone? Parents will have their own kind of whining with their child. So that's going to happen. So if you're with mom all day, it'll happen. Maybe if you find someone with the child's babysat by the husband, you know, house husband, it's going to be different. Mother's going to come up, how's my child today? Oh, dear, he's been whining all day.
Oh, I see. So it's the parent. It's not necessarily the gender. Okay. Right. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we return, we want to continue to talk about whining and changing that pattern. You've had some real good ideas for us, and we'll find out what's on your mind as well. We'll be back with Dr. Tim Murphy in a moment.
I've been looking forward to this golf vacation for months.
Let's walk off that dessert, or we might not make it around the course tomorrow.
Indeed. We'll catch up with you. Okay. Sure wish Jimmy could have joined us. He had his heart set on this trip.
Yeah, but the money he had set aside had to pay those darn hospital bills.
They were that bad?
Well, he thought Medicare would pay him. But it pays less than half the average health care bill. And he's having trouble making ends meet.
No kidding.
If only he had been protected by the Medicare supplement from the original National Senior Citizens Group Insurance Trust. Say, Frank, did you ever call that toll-free number I gave you?
I've been putting it off.
Why? A hospital stay today can run you anywhere from $400 for just one day to thousands of dollars for a long stay. And every year since 1968, Medicare has raised its in-hospital deductible and co-payments. The parts we pay ourselves.
And this insurance plan helps cover all these expenses?
Yep, in and out of the hospital.
You sure they'll let me into this trust?
If you're 65 or over, you can't be turned down for any reason, Frank. And they pay cash direct to you.
Not to the hospital or doctors?
Oh, not unless that's what you want.
What if Medicare increases our share of the hospital costs again?
They'll match them dollar for dollar.
Betty and I can't handle the bills that hit Jimmy. What's that toll-free number?
I'll write it down for you. And there's no obligation for making the call. They'll send you a free information kit that'll explain it all. And the group rates are very affordable.
No more putting it off. I'll call as soon as I get back to our room.
Carl, Frank, look at the show we found. What do you hear?
Carl is going to shoot a 70 tomorrow.
Well, what's so funny about that?
Take Carl's advice and call for this important information today. Call toll-free 1-800-542-3700. That's 1-800-542-3700, or write to Medicare Supplement, Trevose, PA 19049. Operators are standing by now.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh Today. Child psychologist Dr. Tim Murphy is our guest, and we have been talking about whining and whining kids. Dr. Murphy, what do you suggest people do when a friend of your child comes to visit and that child whines a lot?
That child whines too. Well, then now you know where that's coming from, one thing. I think that way you can work with that child the same way you work with your own. It's not one of those harmful kind of or real severe kind of disciplines that you might have questions about. But you can say, look, this is our house rule. We don't talk like that here. And if you're going to talk like that, I'm not going to pay attention to it. We're going to ignore you. And you may even find that there's times that the two children are playing little whining games with each other, and you can tolerate that, let them. But says when it comes to asking for anything or dealing with anything with me, the rule is no.
We don't whine.
We don't whine.
Okay. Let's take a phone call. North Fayette, you're on the air. Go ahead. North Fayette?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I have a 4-year-old and an 18-month-old and a baby due next week.
Oh.
And the 18-month-old whines over everything, wants mommy all the time. And I was wondering what I should do once the baby comes. She doesn't want me to be around the 4-year-old. She doesn't want me to hug the 4-year-old. How can I stop the whining, especially now with a newborn baby coming along?
A good question. Yeah, boy, that's a house load there in that young age. With that, I think it's a good time for a parent to try, first of all, letting the child, hopefully she worked with the parent on the child having another kid in the house and relaxing about that kind of thing. Because one of the reasons, another reason why a child might lie is just kind of feeling insecure about mom, is kind of needing that, and wanting to be a little bit more baby. Now, it's important for the mom and the child to kind of look things over and say, well, what is it about this situation here? Does whining actually get her more of what she wants, more comforting, more nurturance in that? And if that's the case, it's a real important time to change that before the new baby comes around. And then let the child know that there's other ways of getting attention and getting care and getting nurturance, and so she doesn't feel like shoved out of the nest when that happens.
Do you suggest even at dealing with an 18-month-old that you try those kinds of things that you would try with a 4-year-old, which are to say, I can't understand you, I can't hear you?
No.
Because they don't seem to reason as
It
well.
depends on how well the child's language is. If the child does have some words, I think you can. But you have to use just some words the child can understand. And keep in mind that when kids are speaking, they usually understand a little bit more than they can say. And so I have to be kind of on a low level here. But like, let's say, let's practice saying that another way. Just say, mommy, instead of mommy. So you can just do it with the few words the child has.
Okay, so she's got to examine if she's giving in to that whining.
Right.
And if so, try and change her behavior.
And work on it now.
And pray a lot. Because this woman's going to need it.
Earplugs is a good idea.
Good luck to you. Thanks for calling, by the way. I'm going to take another call. Monroeville, you're on the air with Dr. Murphy. Go ahead, Monroeville. Monroeville?
Okay.
You're on the air.
Okay.
And we're all waiting to hear what you're going to say.
I have a 2.5-year-old that I'm home with all day, and it seems like that he never can play by himself. Like he always needs my attention to play. He can never take his own toys and just sit for, say, half an hour or so and play. He whines all day needing my attention. And I would think that me being home all day here, that he would be receiving a lot of attention. Sometimes he seems to want more and more and more.
How old did you say he was?
2.5.
2.5. Well, kids that age will want attention, especially it seems kind of odd because they've gone through a time when they wanted less and less of you, and then they want more and more. 2.5 can be a tough time. That seems to be actually the time that the terrible twos really seem to peak with that. So first of all, don't be surprised he's going to want that. Now, you can then begin to work with him on some other things, of other ways to get your attention. In fact, he can give you a little, you can go over a little list of things. What are some other ways you can get mom's attention? Should he pull on your apron? Should he say your name in a certain way? Should he tap you on the arm? But think of some other ways that he can get that. Now, as far also as keeping your attention around, you may find it, and it depends upon his own style and personality, find it helpful to have some times when you and he can work together. It says, okay, after this certain TV show, or after lunch we have our playtime, or another time this and that. So you might find that he works well from schedule and expectation to know what's going on. But it's also a real important time to let him start working on some more things on his own. Maybe have a playmate over, too.
At 2.5, yeah, well, I guess at 2.5, that could
Well,
be.
sure, they go to daycare.
Sure, some kids do. Or play groups in your neighborhood, trying to put that, 2 or 3 children together occasionally will help. It's tough, though, for a parent to because what she's got to do, I mean, obviously, if in that period of time she has given him that attention,
Yes,
so
I'm
he
sure
does
she
expect
has.
it.
And so you feel, gosh, I'm giving him everything I have. Well, sometimes the best way to do that is to pull back a little, so when you do give the child a little bit of attention, there's that recognition of it's a special time, and it's got a beginning and an end. During the, I mean, not forever, but during the day at least.
This half hour is ours, or this hour is ours,
Right.
and that's, or yours, whatever.
Right.
Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Got another call, and someone, Carnegie, has a question. Carnegie, you're on the air.
Oh, yes. My son's a constant whiner. He whines morning, noon, and night. I try talking to him, and he still whines. Is there anything out on the market I can take for my nerves?
Well, let's try work. I won't prescribe anything. Let's try working on the kind of things you can do with the morning, noon, and night. But what we described before was some of the practice of let them whine and you let them know ways to do, ways not. There's also some sequence of steps to go through once it starts happening. And you start off, first of all, with the child whines to get something, you ignore them. If they ask nicely, if you can, give it to them. Give them the attention, and not necessarily if they come up and say, Mom, I would like a new car. Say, okay, fine, great, you asked nicely. It's not that kind of a thing. But you can indeed, if it's reasonable, talk to them. If you can't answer them right away, say, I'm on the phone, I can't talk with you right away, but give me a couple minutes and then come to me and I'll...
I do that.
Okay, well, we're working on it. Then you also have these sessions with whining, and you have to make sure that when he whines, you ignore or say, I'm not, whatever it is, whine one more time and you won't get it right now. Or you may be a little tired. Why don't you go away and come back in 5 more minutes and ask me again and see if you can go practice asking me the right way that we have practiced. So give him a number of different options to take place. Have you done that too?
Oh, yeah, when I do that, he'll say, when's 5 minutes? When's 5 minutes? Is it now?
How old is he?
3.5.
3.5. Get him a watch with a timer. Well, they say, no, it's not 3 minutes or whatever. Or you might find something that's more visible for him to tell time. I mean, obviously, 3.5-year-old isn't going to tell time. Set a little egg timer. Turn it over, a little sand glass. Let him see when the 3 minutes go through, and he can sit there and watch it. Oh, time's up. I can go ask Mom, Mom, I don't like this egg timer. but it's important to know that this stuff is not going to go away right away, and it's going to take some time and some work and some practice back and forth. And if you find that you're saying, wait a minute, I just worked on this with him, and now he's back whining again, what am I going to do wrong? I better give up. And you find yourself pulling your hair out and giving up. Don't give up yet. It's going to take some time. He's been doing it probably for a few months, right?
Oh, a long time.
Long time. So it won't go away in a day. It may take a few weeks, a few months. Get some help.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
No, it is the worst sound. It really is the worst sound. Let's find out what's going on in Brookline. Brookline, you're on the air. Go ahead. Brookline?
Yes.
You're on the air.
Oh, okay. My son is only 13 months. The rest of these are a little older, but it still seems like he's whining. He really can't talk, but he can say Mommy. And I'll sit him on the floor with all his toys, and I'll try and get anything, excuse me, anything done, like my dishes. And he follows me all over the place, whining. Now, he has problems with his ears, but I would think that if it was his ears, when I'd pick him up, he'd still cry because they would still hurt. But every time I pick him up, he'll stop.
He'll stop. Well, he seems to want your attention at that time, and you might, at that age, he's struggling with how to communicate with you. A lot of times, as I mentioned before, a children's mind develops faster than their ability to speak what's on their mind. And you're going to have to probably find some other cues. What are some other signals? Can he point yet? Can he describe in any way what's on his mind? If he wants you to be around all the time, there's going to have to be a time in his life when it's going to have to start learning that Mom's not going to be able to be there every minute, every hour, every day. So you're going to have to be aware that some of that's going to happen. And that's part of growing up. That's one of the things he's going to have to learn in life. Not just a fun lesson, but this is when it starts.
Is this the time, at 13 months, is that the time that we begin teaching those ways in which we will respond? So, I mean, if she responds every time he whines, she is teaching him that...
Exactly. The kids will start off that way, and whether they're tired or fatigued or want Mom around. I mean, if you can't say any words, you can at least go, Mama, Mama, and play with it. And
and get higher and higher and higher pitch.
Right.
Because the higher the pitch...
Eventually you start screaming.
And eventually you start screaming.
Screaming.
Yeah. Well, as Dr. Murphy suggests, just keep trying to work with him and not respond as quickly. Even as they say, cut down your answer time or your response time, or try and teach him that's not the way in which we...
I shouldn't pick him up there.
Well, when he starts in a nice way, that might be a time to pick him up soon, so that you can teach him that that's the right way. I mean, you're not going to be able to sit him down and say, all right, young fellow, we're going to have a talk about this at 13 months. But you can respond at the good times and not respond as quickly at the rough times.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Dr. Murphy, it is always a pleasure to visit with you. This subject in particular.
Well, I tried to get it in before the new baby was born. I hope you were listening.
Yeah, that's right. Listen up. Anyway, we look forward to seeing you again soon on Pittsburgh Today. Folks, we're going to take a break, come back, and wrap things up this afternoon.
This is an important announcement for every individual over 30 years of age. If you suffer from low back pain, hiatal hernia, poor blood circulation of the legs, edema or swelling of the feet, or everyday aches and pains, call the toll-free number on your screen to receive this free booklet by return mail. Inside is important information on how these medical conditions can help be relieved by the use of a Craftmatic adjustable bed. If you suffer pain or discomfort from any of these health problems, call now, and you'll also receive these 4 important health brochures absolutely free. They contain vital information on how to combat arthritis, poor sleep, back pain, and heart disease. To receive everything free, call toll-free.
And we'll also send you free details on the all-new Craftmatic 2. It's Craftmatic's first adjustable bed available at flat bed prices.
Call 1-800-228-3300 toll-free. Call 1-800-228-3300. Call 1-800-228-3300 toll-free. Call 1-800-228-3300.
You're crazy. I think he looks fabulous.
We just told Debbie Tompkinson if she's got cotton, she could do better for her family wash.
My fabric softener does the job on my husband's shirts.
I agree. Absolutely the best. Compare these all-cotton shirts. One done in your fabric softener, the other in Final Touch fabric softener. Which is better?
They're both soft, but this is absolutely whiter.
This one is whiter. Final Touch?
I don't believe it.
Add the Final Touch for a soft, whiter wash.
If Final Touch did this, then I want Final Touch.
Coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 6. Biopsy results are expected in today from President Reagan's surgery. Kimberly Adams has a full report. The Pirates may not be the only team up for sale if fans don't come through for the Spirit and the Pen. Craig Miller has details. And Mary Rob Jackson wraps up the smashing success of Live Aid. These stories and more tonight at 6.
KDKA-TV's Eyewitness News team. What a team.
Last evening, folks, of course, we had the National Alcoholism Test, a special edition of Pittsburgh Today. And for those of you who would like to receive in the mail a copy of the National Alcoholism Test, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to National Alcoholism Test, Pittsburgh Today, 1 Gateway Center, Pittsburgh 15222. And we will see that it gets to you in the mail. Again, a self-addressed stamped envelope to that address. And we want to thank some groups for joining us today from Horizon Homes, and we also had people from Duff's Business Institute. They're the fashion merchandising students, but they were the advertising class, I understand, right? That's the fashion merchandising division. Good luck to you all, and thanks for coming in. Tomorrow, Marty Klein's with us, and Marty is kind of like, an advisor in many magazines. He's going to offer advice on everything you wanted to know about love and sex, and we'll be talking about deceptive discounts, and those are discounts when you go to buy jewelry and someone says, I can give you this 14-karat gold for X amount of dollars off, and then you get home and find out it's not even gold at all. We'll also be talking with Rebecca Hickman, whose child is in Iran. You may have heard the story in the news, and we'd love to have you join us. If you'd like to come down and visit us tomorrow afternoon, call 392-2217. So long, folks.
Patrice King Brown's Fashions by Saks Fifth Avenue, Mellon Square. Set furnishing provided by J.C. Penney. La China Drapery Company is having a multi-million-dollar 50% off sale